smiling and smirking like it's a funny thing.
Warning, what you're about to witness is a one-way ticket to Meltdown City thanks to Kayleigh McEnany in a perfect example of the old saying, kill 'em with a smile.
It's important to point out, though, that my colleagues on the left, their candidate, had Omar Mateen's father sitting behind him, who is pro-Taliban, who gave cover to al-Qaeda, and who was anti-gay, who has said that gays deserve to be punished. This is who Hillary Clinton had 3 rows behind her, and Sadiq Mateen says he was invited. You can choose to believe Hillary Clinton's team, who says he wasn't invited, or you can believe Sadiq, who says he was invited. Who knows the real story? We know 64% of people don't trust Hillary Clinton, but it is unfathomable that she had a pro-Taliban person, anti-gay father sitting behind her.
First of all,
It's got to be more than
the
64%.
campaign and Secretary Clinton have fully disavowed this individual.
And we trust her completely.
Well, we sure as hell don't trust Donald Trump. So let's set that issue aside for a second. They've disavowed. And if you're trying to apply there's some kind of collusion or something between Hillary Clinton and this man whose son massacred LGBT people, that is beyond offensive. So I don't know what you're implying. B, that he was not invited. C, Donald Trump is going tomorrow with Mark Rubio in Florida, not far from the Pulse nightclub, where 49 LGBT people were massacred, to an anti-gay organization event. So do not try to equate the mistake that was made by her campaign staff. And I agree with Tara, whoever was in charge of crowd last night should lose their job.
May I ask you a question?
And wait a minute. No. You can't ask me a question.
Because you can't answer the question.
Oh, you can't ask me a question, honey. I can't answer, so don't even try.
What
attracted the father of the Orlando terrorist to your candidate?
He's a mentally ill individual who ran
what
for
attracted
president.
him. I get it.
Pardon me?
What attracted him to your candidate? And your answer was he's mentally ill.
His answer stop smiling and smirking like it's a funny thing that there is a man in Florida whose son massacred 49 people. And that man, in my opinion, contributed to who his son was because he is clearly mentally unbalanced, running for president of Afghanistan.
What attracted
so it's
Are you mentally
a
imbalanced?
tragic individual.
I have to ask this question.
And you are outrageous.
Hang on.
And disgusting.
Hang on.
To Donald Trump.
Again, we get into issues of moral equivalency here that are...
Hypocrite much? I see a lot of hypocrisy on this side. Now, each side is the mission field. We all mess up. I'm praying for everybody. I hope y'all pray for me and mine too, but my goodness, how are you going to call somebody outrageous and whatever else she just said? We're going to bring it back. But do you see the way you're acting? Do you see the way you're displaying yourself on prime television, on worldwide live CNN Commie News Network? But my goodness, do you see what example you're setting if you have children? I doubt it with the haircut, that may be wrong of me to say. I may be jumping to conclusions, but come on now. Come on. You can't expect people to take you serious because freaking out and acting irrational, that doesn't give you the moral high ground. It just makes you look psychotic. It makes you seem like whatever point you're trying to drive home, nobody's going to take it serious because you can't just lay it out in a cool, calm, collected manner. It's ridiculous. I love how Kayleigh smiled at her she erupted, lost it. Let's bring it on back now.
Individual
who
ran
that's what
for
attracted
president.
him. I get it.
Pardon me?
What attracted him to your candidate? And your answer was he's mentally ill.
His answer stop smiling and smirking like it's a funny thing that there is a man in Florida whose son massacred 49 people. And that man, in my opinion, contributed to who his son was because he is clearly mentally unbalanced, running for president of Afghanistan.
What attracted
so it's
Kayleigh,
a tragic individual.
I have to ask this question.
And you are outrageous.
Hang on.
And disgusting.
Hang on.
To Donald Trump.
Again, we get into issues of moral equivalency here that are
What attracts anti-gay people to Donald Trump? Why does Donald Trump support conversion therapy? Answer those questions and don't spin it in some legal mumbo jumbo because Tara and I may not be lawyers, but that doesn't mean we're not the smartest people at this table.
Let me sum this up in one question. You were bringing up
when she was just bobbing around, she looked like she was doing like an ISO hesitation Euro layup, like Kyrie Irving style. She just boop, boop, boop. Okay, you got the move.
You brought up the issue of what attracts David Duke to Donald Trump.
We are asked that every day on a daily basis.
Answer it.
And for the first time, I'm asking the same question to you that I've answered time and time again.
I haven't heard it, honey. Answer.
I've answered it time and time again.
Do it again.
We cannot control how third parties support us. However, in this case, I think your candidate's weak policies on ISIS, your candidate's weak policies who will be overrun by ISIS already is what attracted the father of an ISIS terrorist.
So you don't think your candidate's race baiting?
That's right.
He's
No,
attacking a Mexican judge. He's keeping out Muslims. You don't think that's what invites and draws in one of the worst racists in America? Then you're living in a
I don't,
fantasy
because you
world.
did this to Ronald Reagan. It didn't work, and he was the best president we've ever had. In
Philip
Man, the amount of virtue signaling that goes on with this group. They talk about all this racism and all that. But what happens when they say they want these immigrants to come over here? What happened in Martha's Vineyard? I know this clip is a few years old, but what is going on here? Politics aside, we have a prime example of the difference between, well, not politics aside, this is going to be political, but issues that they're talking about aside, because it's a few years old. Y'all know how that played out if you don't do your research on ISIS, on Hillary Clinton, on the Taliban, on all of that. And then you can make a decision for yourself. This right here, ding, 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 a prime example of the difference between liberal versus conservative, left versus right. One is cool, calm, composed. They bring facts to the discussion. They're actually there to, listen to the other side and have a civil discourse. But the other lashes out and usually is an emotional wreck that can't help but whine and scream. Like this lady right here. It's like when Kaylee smiled, she stole that lady's soul. She erupted. She went demonic on her and she refused to answer what Kaylee was asking, but wanted to yell and not let Kaylee speak at all till the very end. Like the moderator, my man, couldn't even get a word in. Like, pray for her though, y'all. Pray that she wakes up and is blessed with some truth, common sense, and reasoning skills. The Greek philosopher Socrates nailed it with this quote right here. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. So when you have to resort to name calling and bashing and calling people racist and white supremacists that we're not even discussing, when you start bringing other people into it and just trying to bully your way through the conversation, that's when you know you've lost. That's when you know the criteria, the logic that you thought you had behind your stance, it's invalid. It becomes a null and void. And that's what happened right here. And let me know what y'all think in the comments. But personally, I think McEnany was the best press secretary our nation has ever had. I mean, look at the things that she had to deal with on a daily basis, and yet she still dominated these folks every single time. And we need her back in the White House, and hopefully in 2024, if she's ready to leave her media role at Fox News, that we can get her back in the big house, because we need people like this that come correct, that smile, that are like shrewd and amidst wolves, amidst these people that are just lying and cheating and stealing and stacking their pockets, giving you all this false rhetoric. But when things really hit the fan, they're not about that life. When things really hit the fan, they freak out, they go wild. Why people like Kaylee McEnany stay cool, calm, composed, they can handle it, they deal with the situation at hand, they point out the foolishness that you got going on, and that's the type of people we need leading this country. And I know I gave a little sneak peek if you were paying attention, but I'd be doing a huge disservice with this platform that I've been blessed with, and the audience that watches or doesn't watch, that hates me, whatever it may be, if I didn't take it to scripture, if I didn't dish out some biblical soul food for y'all to digest. So we're going to take it over to Matthew 10, verse 16, real short verse. But Jesus said, "Behold, I am sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves." Example, Kaylee McEnany. She was wise. She had composure. She was basically a sheep in the midst of that tyrannical wolf. I don't even know what that lady's name was, but she was crazy. Now, what this lady should have done was turn her version of fear, false evidence appearing real, what CNN usually stands for. She should have turned it into the godly version based on Galatians 5, verse 1. Face everything and rise. She should have faced the issue, the topic, the discussion at hand, and she should have rose above it. She didn't have to sink low to name calling. She didn't have to sink so low to get emotional, whining, crying, and screaming like that. You get nowhere with that. I know facts hurt. Good medicine, it doesn't always taste good, but most times it's exactly what you need. And she needs a good hard dose of facts. She needs a good hard dose of common sense, logic, and reasoning. If we can disagree on things, but we can still be respectful. In order for us to get anywhere, we have to understand other people's perspectives. That means you have to let them speak before it's your turn to speak. Slow to speak, quick to listen. But hey, if you want to rock this shirt, face everything and rise, and that's what you stand on, you can get it linked down below, made by my amazing wife on her Etsy store, among a bunch of different other designs, American, Christian, all sorts of scripture. That's what we stand for on this channel. So make sure you go check that out down below. But I know this one was short and sweet. If you liked it, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, notification bell, so you can stay up to date on all my future videos. Share this video, get this out in front of other people so they can react and take it it whichever way they want to. Hey, you may be a liberal, you may be a conservative, you may be not care at all. I still love you. I still pray for you. I want y'all to get all the evidence. I want y'all to get all the perspectives and then go from there. Take a step back, breathe, take all the info in, and then make your mind up. Don't just go off what one person is telling you. Take all different sides and then walk. But if you're not walking in truth, if you're not walking the path of righteousness and looking to Jesus Christ, if you're not baptized in his name and living in his footsteps and pursuing that perfection, you ain't doing it right, unfortunately. And I've been there. I've been on the left side. I've been on the side that thinks I could create my own way and truth is relative. I could be my own God. It don't work out. Trust me. Let me save you the heartache, the depression, the anxiety. Jump into Jesus. Jump into that. Dive into what real love is. God is love. And when you look to him, which he wants you to do, it all works itself out. Let go, let God, because he's good all the time, and all the time he's good. But these folks on CNN, not at all. Not at all. So, man, wake up. Wake up. But again, I'm praying for y'all. Until next time, I love you. Godspeed. I'm gone.